Hey there, this is going to be the quick, fast, and in a hurry version of doing the assignments for your macro photography. I'm actually going to start with the second one. We're going to open the macro shot, select a colorful part of the image that we want to keep in color, and then we're going to invert it, add a black and white adjustment layer, and then adjust the overall levels. This is real easy. So I've already selected my item, and if I go into select and mask, I can fix it if it needs to be fixed. But I want to invert it. So I'm going to flip it because I want to make the background black and white, not the picture in the middle. We want to keep this on output to selection, so you're going to hit OK. And then at this point, you're ready to add your adjustment layer. So my adjustment layer button is here. You could use hue saturation. I'm going to use black and white. That's then going to automatically black and white the background, and you can adjust certain areas of that background utilizing these sliders on here. And that's pretty much that. Of course, it's probably a good idea to clipping mask it, but it's the only layer we're going to have in here, so it doesn't totally matter. And then finally, add a levels adjustment overall. So levels. And then just decide how you want it to be. You can like lighten up the background. You can darken it. You can kind of do whatever you want, but we just want to give it kind of a nice little look there. You can see there's my before. It's a little bit dirty and dingy, and then my after has better contrast. So that's that one. That's the first one. For the second one, after you save this one, you're going to open the original again. I'm not going to save this, so I'm just going to back this up in history to when I opened it. Now, the second time through, we're going to take this image and we're going to create a rectangular section and put it on its own layer. And then we're going to repeat that process from the background to create the part where the head pops out. So I'm going to take my rectangle selection tool and draw a rectangle. I don't want to cover the entire picture because I need part of it to stick out. So I'm just going to go like, so I'm going to have this top and this side part sticking out. So I'm going to kind of do like so. Got my rectangular section. So there we are. I'm going to put this out on a new layer, but I also want to keep it with a layer mask. So new layer with a layer mask and hit OK. Now that's on its own layer, but we still have our background. So I'm going to turn that off for a minute, go back to my background, and then I want to select the parts that are going to hang out. Now I'm not totally sure what parts I had in there, so I'm kind of going to guess. I'm just going to grab a whole bunch of this because we can always paint it out, right? So no biggie. All right, so let's say this is the section that's probably some of this is hanging out. So I'm going to go to select and mask and do the exact same thing. Now I should make sure these selections are really good, but for this example, I'm not. I'm going to hit OK. So now I've basically got this part and this part. See, there it is, hanging out. And then I've got my background. All right, so on this, this part that's hanging out, I want it to be in front of this layer. And the reason is because I'm going to add a stroke to give it a line around it. And when I do that, this is going to go behind. I'm also going to add a drop shadow just to give it a little depth and decide how big I need that drop shadow to be on there. So there's my drop shadow. All right, so now I need this copy. This is the poking out part. That needs to be at the top, so I'm going to pull it in front, and there we go. Now it's popping out of there. Now I have a little too much here that I don't want to be popping out, so on my popping out layer, I will take a black paintbrush and paint that out so that part doesn't stick out. There we go, and all is well. Okay, so there's that part, and now for your background layer, your next option is you're going to turn this into a smart object. It'll get a funny little icon in the corner. And then you're going to add a filter of your choice. And I need to be able to tell that you did something to it. So not a blur filter because it's already blurry, but something else. So I don't know what all of these do, but oh, mezzo tint. That seems exciting. So there you go. Like that would give this mezzo tint. If I don't like it, just right click it and delete that filter and try a different one. They're going to be smart filters, so you can always try and do something different. Like there's Solarize. And again, you can just play around with these. There is a filter gallery. That's kind of fun. So you can see what all of them do before you use them. You can also adjust them and all of that stuff in the filter gallery. See what all the different options are in here. So I got all kinds of different stuff here. Okay, so say I want it to maybe look a little bit more like it's painted-ish. I'm going to adjust You can adjust different things. It's not really making any changes now, but anyway, once you get decided what you're going to do, just go in, choose the one that you want. Hit OK. Oh, definitely not that one. But hit OK. And if you don't like it, undo, or like I said, go ahead and choose a different one. So here we go. Crystallize. We're going to hit OK, and there we go. Some of them aren't going to make a big, huge difference. So I do want to make sure it's noticeable. Because the picture is so big, it may not be super noticeable. Also, if it's not doing anything, be sure that you don't have anything selected. So you can go to Select and Deselect just in case, because if something's selected, it will only do it to the selected area, and that's going to create problems too. So probably going to stick to these like Stylize, Noise, or Pixelate. Those are really going to be the ones that are going to matter the most. And, you know, like some of these, you're not going to see a difference. This makes it a little darker, but it's not like super noticeable. I mean, I guess if I go really dark, it is. But anyway, all right, that's essentially it. That's all there is to it. So you've got a smart layer with a smart filter from the filters. You've got the rectangle with the stroke and the drop shadow. And you got the poking out part that's up above. And that should do it.